Elsewhere, a strike by Lufthansa's staff enters the fourth day as the German carrier fails to reach a compromise with the cabin crew union over retirement benefits. The union, UFO, has rejected a new offer of a 1.7% pay rise in 2017, saying the offer is combined with a threat. Cabin crew members plan to continue the strike action through Friday. This is going to be the longest strike action in Lufthansa's history. On Monday, the airline was forced to ground more than 900 flights, affecting 113,000 passengers. Lufthansa staff are pushing their demands in a long-running row over early retirement benefits and pensions. Talks between the two sides broke down last Thursday, prompting the walkouts. Investigative journalist Tony Gosling joins us now from Bristol. Mr. Gosling, talk to us about the repercussions of this strike by staffers of Lufthansa.
Well, if you have a look at who's taken the initiative, who's caused this strike, it's quite clearly not the pilots or the pilots union or the cabin crew. This is Lufthansa who've taken the initiative here. And what they're trying to do is renegotiate the pension that the pilots have. Now, why would they want to do that? When you're in a pension scheme, what you've done is you've made an agreement about what's going to happen with your money. And that agreement should stand, and that's who has caused this. I mean, this is right across the Western media. You're seeing the Lufthansa pilots have decided to strike, and they're making out that it's a pilots' initiative. It's not. This is Lufthansa that's trying to make changes. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I get on an aircraft, I want to know that the pilot is a happy chap, or chapess if it's a woman, that the pilot of the plane is content. I want smiling, happy cabin staff. I don't want people who feel like, whether that's right or wrong, that they're being done over by their management. And that's effectively what's happening here. Lufthansa is trying to turn what was a world-class airline into some kind of budget airline where they are able to bring prices right down to rock bottom. Not everybody wants to fly like that in budget airlines, and I think Lufthansa have made a big mistake in trying to dumb down, in a way, their brand. But the main problem here is that for right across the world, there are a lot of airlines that are not listening particularly to their pilots. The pilot needs to be in charge of that airliner, and he or she needs to decide whether they want to take a particular route, etc. We've seen particularly the crash of the German wings 9525 in the French Alps back in March. That particular crash was also due to very bad management by Lufthansa. Even though it's their subsidiary airline, it was Lufthansa's problem. And the pilot guy, he wasn't getting a good listening to by his bosses, and they need to listen to the pilots, number one, and then charge whatever it takes to make sure that their pilots are happy and that the airliner is flying safely across the world.
So are you expecting any middle ground that Lufthansa and the cabin crew could find to end the strike?
Well, I think Lufthansa have just got to give and give. They've already lost on this particular strike over 10 million euros, so they're not doing their shareholders any favours. I just get the idea that there's some kind of macho thing going on at Lufthansa itself, and we need to know that our airlines are listening to their pilots. Think again about the last month's Russian 7K9268 Airbus crash in Sinai. British pilots at the time and pilots around the world were discussing the possibility that they shouldn't be flying over Sinai. Maybe those pilots should have actually had the whip hand there, rather than having their managers, in those cases Russian managers, saying, no, you're going to carry on continuing to fly. A similar kind of situation with the Malaysian MH17 crash in July 2014 last year. More airlines were diverting around Ukraine than were actually flying through it. There are websites around, like one's called PPRUNE, Professional Pilots Rumour Network, where pilots discuss these things. They also talk face-to-face, of course, at airports when they're changing shifts. And those are where the decisions, I think, should be made. Professional pilots need to be in charge of their aircraft, not managers sitting behind a desk.
Thank you very much, investigative journalist Tony Gosling from Bristol.